Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampItCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks so much for joining me today for our July card class. I haven't talked to anyone yet this morning. So it's a card class. And today we're going to be using the Inked and Tiled bundle, which comes with this great stamp set. I love this one. It's got lots of the floral and leaf images, plus a couple little extra fun ones. And then 6 different sentiments. And I love that they're small because they fit on, they fit using the punches. So the bundle comes with these 2 punches. We've got kind of a star here, and then we have an X. And these actually fit together, so we'll kind of be showcasing that later in the week. And then in the suite, part of the suite includes this great Lost Lagoon ribbon. It's, how big is this? A 1/4 inch ribbon. It says bordered ribbon, and it is a 1/4 inch wide. It is a little bit heavier duty, which I really like. And then we have this great designer paper. So I thought I'd show you these patterns real quick. This is all I have left of this one, which is in the Lost Lagoon color. I think we have another pattern that's similar to this, kind of like that. I think we have one in another color though. Maybe not. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a great pattern. I've used this on cards, you'll see. You'll see in a minute where I used all my paper. On the back, it has this great plaid pattern. Then we have this one, and then the back is kind of almost like a wheat looking. Would be really good for fall projects. We have this one with the leaves, and then just a fun kind of, I don't know, what's the word you would use for that? Slashes or kind of, it's not really stripes, but it's fun. I like this one. It's got all the colors in here, and then it's got a polka dot background, which I love polka dots. We have this one. Then on the back has some coral little flowers. Then we have a leaf one. Perfect, beautiful fall leaves for fall coming up. Kind of a floral graphic pattern on the other side. We have small flowers here, and then a fun kind of spriggy coral side. And we have some more fun flowers and coral polka dots. Here we have, it's crushed curry. I think we're using a lot of crushed curry in this packet. And then a fun Lost Lagoon plaid background. And we have the curry and coral. And then, which way does that go? Maybe that way. Almost like a dandelion type background. Here we have, it's a very subtle floral background. And then some little stripy flowers. And then a coral leaf pattern here. And then this, again, background in the lagoon. So some great graphic patterns and some great floral and leaf patterns. And then just to let you know, these are the iridescent pastel gems, go perfectly with this set. It's got all the great colors. It's got a pool party, which goes perfectly because we have pool party in Lost Lagoon. And then it has the coral gems, which go with this. And then these, which I don't know if they're yellow or they're clear, but they go really well with the crushed curry. They actually go with all the colors. But if you place an order between now and next Thursday, if it's $30 or more, I'm gonna send you a pack of the cards that we're making today. You're gonna get a kit for 6 cards. And then if you spend $50 before tax and shipping, I am going to send you a pack of these gems for free as well. And don't forget, we have our bonus days going on this month till the end of July. So with every $50 you spend, you get a $5 coupon to use next month. So you won't want to miss out. Spend $50, you get 6 cards that you can make for free. You get a $5 coupon and a pack of these iridescent pastel gems. Super pretty. Okay, so let's get started with our projects today. So we have actually have card class tonight, and these are the cards we're going to be making at our in-person card class, but you can get a kit for free with the PDF with pictures and measurements, so you can make these at home. I will not be including measurements on today's projects unless you place an order, and then you get a PDF for free. Okay, so I have my Crushed Curry card base. It's 4 1/4 by 11. Then we have a piece of, we're using Very Vanilla, and that's gonna go on the inside. We have a piece of vanilla for the front. We have this piece of coral, and then 3 strips of the designer paper. And these are the patterns I'm using. A couple of circles cut out of our stargazing dies, the one with the astronaut and the space shuttle. I love that it has circles. And then a little piece of our ribbon. So let's get started. We are going to be using some Calypso coral to start with. And then I'm using this long, fun, kind of stripey pattern. And what I'm going to do is just stripe a few, or stamp a few stripes, stripe a few stamps on the edges, just like that, because this is going to be adhered to the card front. And we're not going to see the middle of it. We're just seeing the edges, so we don't have to worry about what the middle looks like. All right, then we're going to take our designer paper and we're going to glue these on. You can do them in any order you want. And you could probably even use some of the reverse sides too if you wanted to use the reverse sides. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Okay, so I like to start with my outside edges first. Trying to make sure that I get a good even border kind of all the way around in between everything. All right, let's do this side, this next one. And it's usually good to set those down gently until you get everything kind of in place in case you need to adjust a little bit more. Let's see, I'll put this right here. A little bigger gap, so I think, that's not very straight either. We'll get this in. I might pull these over just a little bit. So if we don't set them down too hard, we can peel those off and then adjust. So we have a little better evenness. I know you guys struggle with this too sometimes. It's not just me. And then this one, I thought I only put down gently. That seal adhesive is really good adhesive. Okay. Get that a little more evenly spaced down just a hair. Trust me, this is normally not this difficult. Okay. Yikes. All right, so before I glue that down, I want to put my ribbon on. I'm just gonna grab some Scotch tape. You could use your seal adhesive if you want to. But this is on the back, no one's gonna see it. Okay, now we're gonna adhere this to the card front. And I knew I was running out. I could see my little red tab coming up. So let's get this out and pop another one in. All right. Get that going, there it goes. All right. And we're going to just adhere this to the center of our card. All right, this one, actually I'm going to put this under the ribbon. This is my coral circle right here. And then on this one, we're going to stamp the small flower right here. But We're using Cajun, or Calypso, no, it's a C word, crushed curry. Crushed curry. All that alliteration throws me off sometimes. So I stamped it off once to have a little lighter flower. And then we're gonna take our sentiment, and I think I'm gonna use Hello Friend in the Calypso Coral and just stamp this right in the middle. Just like that, super cute. All right, and then we're going to pop this up with a few dimensionals. Do 2 and then 1. All right. Pop this up right in the center, and then let's add a few gems. Let's use our coral gems. I've separated them for class. So we're just going to use a large and a small. Let me see what I have here. These are my class ones. Okay. Grab a large, we're going to stick that right there, and then a small one, just put that right up there. And that is it. Isn't that sweet and cute? Now the kit comes with everything already cut, so you don't have to cut anything. That's always the worst part, is getting everything cut, right? Okay, so that is project number 1. All right, let's do our next one. I love this because I'm going to use some of our gilded leafing for this project. It's very simple. Using a Daffodil Delight card base. Then we're using the Wild Wheat for a front panel. So we're going to do a little work on our Wild Wheat part. So I'm going to grab this big leaf stamp and Wild Wheat ink. And we're just going to stamp this all over the front. And make a pretty background. And just do this. Not too worried about right here. That's going to be covered up, so we're not going to worry about that. All right, now we're going to use some tear and tape to put our gold leafing on. And I want to make sure I get it straight across. So I'm going to use my grid paper, and I'm going to line this up. I'm going to use this, the center line, for putting my tear and tape on. So I'm going to hold this down and then put this right here. And that will help me make sure that that's nice and straight going across. All right, and then I'm going to do one more line right here, which is nice because this is a 1/4 tear and tape, and then my grid paper's in 1/4 inch grids. So it's really easy to put that on using this as a guide to make sure it's straight. All right, now let's grab our gilded leafing. Got a nice little tub full. Okay, we're gonna peel this off. Whoop. All right, grab a brush and we're gonna put some leafing on here. We want to make sure we get all of that adhesive covered with the leafing, and then brush it off. You can just scrub whatever's left off on there that you don't want. Okay, so it's super easy to do that. All done, and it gives this beautiful shiny texture. But what I like to do is, after I'm done with that, I put it under my grid paper and then just smooth it out with my bone folder. If the grid paper protects it from getting scratched off, but it helps it to get it all nice and flattened out so it's not furry looking. Okay, isn't that beautiful? I love even how it has these like big flat areas from the big pieces of the gilded leafing. I just think that's gorgeous. All right, Now we're going to adhere this to our card front. So pretty. All of our in colors look great with the gilded leafing. Okay, now we're going to use this for our flower, and I'm going to grab this big flower image right here. And I want to use several colors on it, so I'm going to use my markers. Now the blends markers do not color on here well. They dry too fast, and it only works with the Stampin' Write markers. Okay, so I am using Garden Green for my stems and leaf. And I'm coloring with the side of my marker, and that way I don't ruin the tip of it. Okay, make sure I have good coverage. All right, then I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight marker, and I'm going to color the whole flower first with Daffodil Delight. Being careful not to get green on it. And I'm just using the side of the marker. Okay, now I'm going to take the wild wheat, and I want to put just a little wild wheat down at the base. So I'm kind of going at the base, and then I'm just doing a little stroke up on both the flowers. And so if you're going to do this, make sure that you use the lighter color first and then the darker color. And then you can, do this if you're worried about getting another color on there. But I usually do, pink over pink, yellow over yellow, that type of thing. Now, this is where you're going to want to huff on it to re-moisten, because we colored that green a minute ago. So let's huff on it. I have to use two because it's a big stamp. And then we're going to hopefully stamp this pretty straight. Give it a press just for a minute to let that color sink into the paper, and look how gorgeous that comes out. I love that, love doing that. Okay, let's pop this up with some dimensionals. And we'll throw a couple small ones in the middle too. It's kind of a tall piece. Whoop, took that whole one off right there. Okay. All right. We're going to adhere this right here. And now we're going to do our sentiment. So this is what's really cool about the sentiment. I have just a scrap. It's just a scrap piece. And I'm going to stamp just a note. And I think I'm going to use the wild wheat. And I'm going to stamp that right there in the middle. Then we're going to bring our punch in. And I'm using the square, not the square, the X punch. And I'm going to stamp this going this way. I think I need to trim off a little bit of my paper here though. Okay, so I'm going to go this way on my X. So it's going to go from point to point. So can you kind of see that? How it's point to point. Punch that out. I have the rest of my X, but I don't need it. So I'm just going to cut that off. The rest of that X off. And now I just have a fun little tag right there, just like that. You could do that with any size sentiment. Let's do it. Do I have a scrap of paper? Maybe I do. You know what? Hold on a second. Let me grab a scrap. Another scrap, and I'll show you how to do a longer one. Let's use congratulations. Get this out of here. Okay, So you can see this is just a little bit too long to do that with. So let's do it in coral so we can see it a little better. And do congratulations right there. Then what we're gonna do is stick this inside the punch. If I can get it in here. Maybe we'll go this way. That seems to maybe, oh, I'm going too low. That's the problem. There we go. We get it in there and we can do any way we want. We just want it kind of pretty straight. Cut it there and then put the other end in. Get our congratulations right there. Make sure that that's even. Hopefully straight. And then we cut off all that's left over. See? Any size label you want. And this is not, it's, how wide is this? This comes up to a 1/2 inch. So you could take a 1/2 inch strip if you have, we always have tons of 1/2 inch strips, and just use that as a little, you know, like it's a reverse flag is what it is. You could even take right here in the corner and do with your 1/2 inch and do a flag there too. If that was a 1/2 inch. See, you have a little flag in. So super versatile right there. Okay, I'll save that for my scrap box. Maybe we'll see that again one day. All right, so let's pop up just a note. I'm gonna pop this up. I'm going to overlap a little bit, so I'm not putting it all the way to the edge. I'm just gonna overlap right between my 2 rows of gilded leafing. And we're going to use the yellow or champagne or diamond or whatever color this is. We're going to use these gems and just do a large and a small. Pretty. That's an elegant card that didn't really take a lot of time. So I hope you enjoyed that, and it's always fun, a good excuse to play with gilded leafing. Okay, let's get our last project. I am making a mess out of everything in here today. Okay, so we're doing this one. We're using some of the Lost Lagoon, and then I have a piece of Avalanche here, a piece of Pool Party. We have that layer here, and then that vanilla is going to go on top. But we're going to do some things to our vanilla first. Okay, I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat, and I have just a piece of old graph paper over here to protect it. And I'm going to take this big block. I think it's the E block. I made sure that it was very clean, so I don't have adhesive or anything on it. It's a very clean block. And I'm going to take Pool Party ink, and I'm just going to put ink all over my block. Just like that, covering the whole block with Pool Party. And then I'm taking water, and you can use our spritzers. I happen to have this little 1 ounce bottle of spray water. And I'm going to do this over, not on my paper, but I'll show you what it's gonna look like. So I'm spritzing from about 8 to 10 inches away from the block so I don't get huge, you know, we want a nice even coverage, but we want it to start pooling. We want enough so that it starts, see that in the glare right there? It's starting to pool. And the reason we want it to pool is because we're going to stamp it right in the middle of our paper. And we want that water to squish out when we stamp down. See how that water just squishes out and goes all over? So give it a second to kind of soak into the paper. Then lift it up and you get this great big block background look. All right, we're gonna let that dry for just a minute. I'm gonna wipe my block on my black pants. That's why I wear a lot of black pants. Because I will just do whatever. I will just put it on there. Wipe it off. If I get inky fingers, they go on my pants. So that's why we always wear black. Black pants. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to take my Lost Lagoon and put that on here. And then I pre-punched a couple pieces of the designer paper. I'm going with the monochromatic card here today. So I have 2 X's out of 2 different Lost Lagoon pieces. This one has a little pool party. And then I punched a vanilla star out of some scrap cardstock. And we're going to take Lost Lagoon ink, and we are going to stamp Happy Birthday right here on our, I'm going to put it here so I can see what I'm doing. Up a little bit higher. The birthday's in the middle, so the happy is above it. Right there, perfect. All right, I'm going to keep this out because we're going to stamp in just a minute. While I'm waiting for this to finish drying, I have a little bit of linen thread, and I'm going to tie a little bow. Just a little bow. Okay. And I'm going to stick it on here right below the happy birthday. So let's grab a glue dot. The glue dots are bigger than our bows, so I'm actually going to take this glue dot, kind of roll it over on itself. Okay. Just squish that over and stick it right below. So it's a little bit thinner or smaller than what it would normally look like. And then I'm going to put my knot right there to hold that on. Okay, now we can trim off our ends. Just like that. Okay, I think we're ready to do our stamping. It's still a little damp, but it's dried enough that it's not going to run or bleed. So, get my cleaner here. We're going to take our big flower image that we color with the markers. We're going to clean that off because we don't want to have any carryover. And we're just going to ink this up with the Lost Lagoon. That looks really good. And I'm going to do this at a little bit of an angle. Just stamp it right there. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? I just think that's great. Okay. We're done stamping, so we'll put this away. You could take your heat tool and dry it a little bit. Let's do that. We'll just dry it a second. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I get good adhesive all the way around, because water will sometimes just do a little bit of warping to our paper. All the way around. We're going to put it on this thin mat of Lost Lagoon. Perfect. Okay, let's adhere these. And I'm actually bringing this first one out a little bit outside of our watercolor mat area onto the vanilla. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to overlap it just a little bit. but even overlap just a hair, and then we're going to add this one with dimensionals. Okay. Right there. Cute, 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 cute. And we're going to use, of course, we're going to use our blue gems, the Pool Party gems. And we're going to do a large and a small, just like with the rest. We're gonna put this is kind of our little focal area here. And then this is beautiful off by itself. So we're just gonna keep everything kind of down in this bottom right corner. And that's it. Now I didn't put a piece of vanilla on the inside. You could if you wanted. To me, this is light enough that I just like to write on the inside. I might even stamp. Hold on. Let's just go ahead and do this while we're at it. Let's take our flowers and just do a little pretty stamping on there. And then let's take our envelope and do some pretty stamping on our envelope. Gorgeous. What a gorgeous birthday card to get in the mail. You can do that with your other ones too. I didn't, so we're not gonna go back. So these are our 3 cards today. 1, 2, and where's our other one? Over here. Right here. I hope you enjoyed those. You can make these too. All you need to do is place a $30 order using the host code below in the description. And I'll send you a kit to make 6 of these. You get 2 of each pattern. Everything will be die cut, punched. You use your stamps. So if you have the inked and tiled bundle, you can use the flowers that are in there, or you can use whatever you have. Whatever you have will be, will work just as well. And then if you spend $50, you get a pack of the iridescent pastel gems, because these are gorgeous and you get quite a few. It doesn't, how many? We get 90. You get 90 gems. 90, that's a lot. 2, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So you get 45 of the big and 45 of the small. That's a lot of cards you can make with those. All right, thanks everybody for stopping by, and I will see you soon. All right, bye-bye.